today?
Good. Today we're going to be going over the report of findings, and this is basically the most important visit we're going to be having because it sets the stage for where we're going to go. So today we're going to be going over what I found with you, and then we're going to just talk about payment plans at the end, so that's where we're going.
Alright, sounds good.
Well, not payment plans, visit times.
Okay.
Okay, there are three aspects to chiropractic care. You have the initial intensive care, a beginning type of care that is designed to reduce or eliminate the symptomatic problem consisting of relief care and stabilization care. Okay, so what we found in your case was you had a lot of lower back pain, and pain that shot down your leg, and you were having difficulty sleeping in your own bed?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, so that was your case history. You are a construction worker, and so you do a lot of heavy lifting?
Yeah.
Okay. About how much do you do a day?
Always lifting stuff.
So always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that can be a good cause of lower back pain. And yeah, you said it radiated. We did some examinations with on your last visit, and it was a series of standardized tests to evaluate your neurological, muscular, cardiovascular, skeletal, and respiratory systems. And what I found with those, as far as neurological, the shooting pain that you were experiencing down your left leg, and the paresthesia, numbness, and tingling, that was neurologically caused. As far as orthopedic, we did you had a very strong positive on the straight leg razor, which could indicate a nerve root compression, which is basically a squeezing of the nerve at the root of the spine, sort of close to the spine. As far as physical, that you have an increase. We found that you had an increased pain upon lying down, and we also took X-rays. These are your X-rays. This is the lower back on you, and what I found was these up here were fairly normal, but on L4, the disc in between L4 and L5 vertebrae, it was kind of diminished or decreased in space. Okay. And this is seen with a degeneration of the disc between those two, and that's a soft tissue degeneration causing the vertebrae to approximate or get closer together. Okay. And a lot of times this is a good cause of radiating pain down your leg, and so that's consistent with what we found in our other tests. So this was this is what I'm mostly concerned about. I did find another on your cervical X-ray. There is a little bit of a diminished curve here. We're kind of aiming for like a good smooth curve throughout the spine, and with you, I found this both in manual palpation and with the X-rays. It was confirmed, but you have a little bit of a decreased curve to your spine. So that's nothing that we can't deal with. Yeah. So that's it. This is just AP open mouth. It looked pretty normal. So that's good. Yeah. I don't think you're. So let's say it too much. All right. So we'll move on to the second type of care, which is reconstructive care. It basically is a specialized chiropractic care designed to correct the vertebral subluxation complex and reestablish health. This care begins at the completion of the initial intensive care or relief care, basically removing beyond just the symptoms when we move into the reconstructive care. Vertebral subluxation complex, VSC for short, is a condition in which the spine malfunctions and causes an imbalance or damage to the nerve system and overall health. It consists of 5 components: spinal kinesiology, kinesiopathology. It basically would be a loss of range of motion of some sort. So what we found that in your cervical spine, which is your neck, we found a decrease in flexion and extension. So you weren't able to completely go up and down, and that's nothing. That is something. But the L4 is what we're really concerned about because there's so much pain with that. So yeah, both in the L4, the lumbars, both static and motion palpation, I found a good deal of edema around there, which is just swelling, liquid where it shouldn't be in the tissues down there. So there was considerable edema. Your leg check, you had a left short leg, and it could be due to a lot of reasons. It could be due, you could just be congenitally have a short leg. We don't necessarily know what that means, but it could mean that you do have decreased motor function to that leg, and so it could make it a little bit shorter because your muscles are either too tight or too loose, so they're not doing what they should. I told you about the range of motion in your neck. Okay, the second one is neuropathophysiology. Basically, it amounts to abnormal changes in the function of nerves. Yeah, that was seen with the paresthesia down your left leg, and that would be due to compression. There was myospasm with myopathology, which is the third component. Basically, it means abnormal changes in support muscles. And on the left, I believe it was it was the right side of your levels of L2 through L4. You did have like spasm muscles, and that could be, it is due to a change in muscle tone. And the next is histopathology. It equates to abnormal changes in associated soft tissue. And so on your X-ray, there are some soft tissue degenerations. That disc being not as tall as the other ones is that. So yeah, you would be phase 2. It's not completely degenerated. There still is some working joint space, but it is diminished a little bit. Okay, and the fifth is spinal pathophysiology. So it basically means abnormal architecture, remodeling of the spine. And that would look like little hooks, I guess you could call them. They're called osteophytes, and the clinical examination we use to identify the different levels of subluxation degeneration at the relative damage to the spine and related systems. We use X-rays to identify them, and I showed you the X-rays. We did see some hardening of the bone at this level because of the added stress. So that was part of what we saw. Okay, and basically we rate this down into 4 phases. Normal, phase 1, which is misalignment or malfunction without major tissue degeneration, and your neck falls into this one. So we took on the lateral cervical, we saw a phase 1 degeneration, which means it's easier to take care of than the other phases, but the other phases are still manageable. Okay. Phase 2 would be misalignment and malfunction with soft tissue degeneration and calcium salt deposition, and that's basically calcium salt deposition looks like a little wider calcification or brighter spot on the X-ray. We did see that. Phase 3 would be misalignment and malfunction with the beginnings of bone fusion. So that would look like a lot like this, where you can see the vertebrae starting to fuse. Phase 4, misalignment and malfunction with total bone fusion. And you can see that obvious right here and here. Okay, and once set in motion, the process goes to completion unless interrupted. So I'm glad you're here.
Okay, me too.
Get this stuff fixed. Yeah, so lateral lumbar view, that's not the lateral lumbar, but I can see a phase 2 degeneration. It's not starting to, it's not fusing yet, but it is, you are getting a little bit of growth there. the bone. Okay. Your VSC prognosis, all right. The prospects of spinal neurological recovery are influenced by your subluxation degeneration phase. So in the lumbar, you were a little bit more advanced than in the cervical, but it's still workable. In phase 1, there is usually complete return of normal structure and function, whereas phase 2, the spine generally returns to near normal function. So we're doing good there. While disc degeneration and calcium spurring usually stop from getting worse. So what we're going to aim for with your lumbar subluxation, we're going to aim to stop the degeneration and increase your function of that joint. So that's what we're aiming for. If the spine is in phase 4 or 3, it usually stops getting worse at that point because we can't reverse it completely.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah. And then we would like you to move into the reconstructive care, which entails regular visits, but that are more spread out. So once we get past the acute phase and the second phase, we can move into this phase hopefully, and be on the way to just maintaining.
Okay.
That's where we want to be and get you out of pain.
Awesome.
And fix those subluxations. Yeah, and that would just be optimum spinal neurological function. Get you healthy. My recommendations for care are 3 visits per week for the first month. We will reevaluate at that point on the 1st of next year. And we'll just take it from there and see how you're doing.
Okay.
And this is a little note explaining some of the things that we will be doing further. We consider the report of findings to be your most important visit. I already mentioned that. The visit is crucial to your understanding of the problem and decisions you'll be asked to make regarding the direction of your health care. I will explain the 4 aspects of your case: the cause, the severity, the recommended care, and the prospects for correction. I feel that your subluxations are correctable at this stage.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I would like the chance to work with you there.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Your report is based entirely on facts and professional evaluation of your examinations. With the source of your problem and severity identified, a recommended course of care will be presented to you. Then you'll have some decisions to make. The doctor can only present the facts, describe your need for care, outline the possible results and consequences of your decision, and then support your choice. Once care is begun, how long it will take is dependent on how many variables like age, lifestyle, keeping up with appointments, and other aspects that can affect our outcome. Fortunately, many of these are under your control. We will monitor your improvement through progressive examinations and reports that will track your progress. Towards the end of your initial intensive examination, the doctor will share, I will share the results with you. I think I completed that. And compare the new findings with the original. So this is a re-evaluation. In this way, you'll know whether you're progressing normally or slower or faster than what we would expect. Regardless of the results, our recommendations are based on facts, not wishful thinking.
Okay.
So in those rare cases when you may not be responding as normal, we will evaluate, work with other healthcare providers if needed. We will send you out, get other care. But we're here for you. We want to take care of you.
Good to know.
Look forward to participating.
Thank you.
You're wellness.
Have a good one.